First of all, I am the president, as she stated, of the Muscogee Creek Indian Freedmen Band. This is our website, 1866creekfreedmen.com. First of all, I want to thank the college, Bacone College, for giving me another opportunity to present you all this presentation. We're going to get right into this. In your handout there, on number 1, it talks about the freedman. Actual definition is actually someone who's been freed from slavery. But this is how we look at it. The Muscogee Creek Indian Freedmen were originally citizens of the Muscogee Creek Nation. Many of them were citizens who were placed on the Creek Freedman Road. There were 2 different types of roads, and I'll be talking a little bit about that. Who were placed on the Freedman Road. Many were enslaved by citizens of the Muscogee Creek Nation in or were indigenous people of African Indian descent. They received tribal citizenship through the Dawes Commission with full political and economic rights as native citizens based on Article 2 of the Reconstruction Treaty of 1866 made between the Muscogee Creek Nation and the United States in the United States in or the Muscogee Creek Nation 1867 Constitution. As Muscogee Creek Nation citizens, the freedmen served faithfully as attorneys, entrepreneurs, tribal legislators, judges, light horse police, and of course, loyal citizens. A lot of times we just hear about the freedmen that they were just slaves, you know. And at first they were, but afterwards they became these things. The Treaty of 1866. Who've heard of that treaty with the Creeks and the other 5 tribes around it? First of all, I'm going to talk about a lot of things here, a lot of things. And I forgot to tell you, don't be afraid. There's a test after this. We're at a college, we're at a university, so. But it's going to be all right. Everyone is going to get an A. Everyone. Okay? But Treaty of 1866, Article 2 in this treaty, it states that the Creeks hereby covenant and agree that henceforth neither slavery nor involuntary servitude otherwise than in the punishment of crimes whereof the parties shall have been duly convicted in accordance with laws applicable to exist in said nation, inasmuch as there are among the Creeks many persons of African descent who have no interest in the soil. It is stipulated that hereafter these persons lawfully residing in said country, Creek country, under their laws and usages, or who have been thus residing in said country and may return within 1 year from the ratification of this treaty in their same race as may be permitted by the laws of the said nation to settle within the limits of the jurisdiction of the Creek Nation as citizens thereof shall have and enjoy all the rights and privileges of native citizens, including an equal interest in the soil and the national funds. And the laws of the said nation shall be equally binding upon and give equal protection to all such persons and all others of whatsoever race or color who may be adopted as citizens or members of said tribe. That was a mouthful for Article 2 in that Treaty of 1866. See, you had a treaty with the United States government and the tribe, the Creek Nation. I'm going to be particularly talking about the Muscogee Creek Nation. So there was a treaty between these tribes, the Creek Nation and the United States. You could not have dual citizenship. You could not be a citizen of the Creek Nation at that time and a citizen of the United States. So that's why they had their own treaty with it. Although they were here in the United States, they were a whole new country. They were their own country. This right here is the Dawes Commission. They were the one that had the task of putting these roll numbers together, allotting land. I'm going to talk a lot about them. But determining an applicant's degree of Indian blood, which is very important on trying to get your citizenship card in these tribes. They look at your blood quantum. It says, there's a book called the Dawes Commission. In the allotment of the 5 tribes back in 1893 and between 1893 and 1914 by Kent Carter. He worked at the National Archives in Fort Worth, Texas. Page 49, it states, determining an applicant's degree of Indian blood proved to be difficult and became a source of intense controversy later when congressional legislation based restrictions and eligibilities for benefits on it. None of the rolls taken before 1896 had included a blood quantum, and only a few of them recorded whether a person was full blood or mixed blood, the only distinction most tribes considered important at the time. It appeared that if an applicant did not claim to be a full blood, the enrollment clerk estimated the fraction which they put in the degree of column, in the degree of blood column on the official card based on answers given about parents and grandparents. Some applicants claimed to be a full blood because they were afraid that one of their relatives was not an Indian and prevent them from being enrolled. In cases where an applicant parent were members of different tribes, the commission calculated the degree of blood based strictly on the mother's tribe. This resulted in the enrollment of a child of a full-blood Seminole father and a full-blood Creek mother as one-half Creek, although the child had 100% Indian blood. In cases of mixed Freedmen and Indian parents, Freedmen and Indian parents, which was common among the Creeks and Seminoles, actually it was common among all the tribes, the 5 tribes. When you hear me say all the tribes, I'm just talking about the 5 tribes. But it was more so in the Creeks and Seminoles. The applicant was always enrolled as a Freedman and not given credit for having any Indian blood. Who all knows the 5 tribes? Let's name them. Cherokee, Creek, Choctaw, Chickasaw, Seminole. Excellent. Where are you at now? Where's this college located? What tribe?
Creek. That's
Creek?
Creek.
Creek? I thought it was Cherokee. This is Creek? I thought anything on
The line is about
York. It's not York.
The border is definitely not there.
I've been educated today. I've been saying that it's York. Well, I'm glad. Thank you. I'm glad I can tell people that. I've been stating that it's been Cherokee, but it's Creek. Thank you. This is my pedigree chart. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. 1983, I finished my first year of college up there in Miami, Oklahoma at NEO. And I was trying to get my citizenship card. So I went to the Creek Nation to get it. And I told the lady who my dad was, because I always thought my dad was full-blood Indian. And that's when I heard the word Freedman. I've never heard the word Freedman, not in high school, first year of college. I've never heard of that word, that term, Freedman. And so at that time, I told her, I said, well, I always thought my dad was full-blood. And so she said, no, he was nothing but a slave. He was a freedman. So my first year of college, I knew he wasn't a slave, although he was born in 1902. And I'm the youngest child out of 11 kids. So that was someday when I drove to, wasn't no cell phones, folks. I drove to my sister's house and we talked for hours about this matter. And that's why I just started learning about my family. There's displays, if you have time after, look at the displays, but I'll talk about some of the displays. But that's what started me in gathering all this information about the Freedmen, my family. Started with my family and it's branched out, actually. But this is my pedigree chart. They were on the 19... Oh, this will not work. They were on the 1910 Indian population census. Who's ever... I do genealogy. I'm a genealogist / historian. And by putting both of these together, it was excellent. This is in the 1910 census. My father and the family are down on the Indian population census. And that's what that looks like. It's the front page. It's the top part and the bottom part. This is an actual census card. That's what, at the top is Newborn Creek Nation Freedman Road. They were placed on that Freedman Road. That's my father, Theodore Graham. And that's his brother right below it, Will Graham. And the parents is Floyd Graham. On there, right to Floyd, it has non-citizen. He was a non-citizen of the Creek Nation. He was actually Choctaw Indian, part Choctaw Indian. But he was classified as a U.S. citizen, because at that time you could not be a Creek citizen and a U.S. citizen, or even a Choctaw citizen and a U.S. citizen. Okay. In that application, dealing with those citizenship cards, you have a birth affidavit. This was before statehood. It's back in 1902. From there, this is Creasy Graham at the top. That's my grandmother. Her roll number is on the side, on the left side. There is the Doll Rose number. Her number was 944. And for the Freedmen, there was a front page and a back page. That's the back page. It shows the name of father, father's tribal enrollment, father's owner, name of mother, mother's tribal enrollment, and mother's owner. For the first time, who's seen these cards before? Who's seen these census cards before? Is this your first time seeing these? Raise your hand. Is anyone affiliated with any tribe? Creek Nation, Cherokee, Choctaw, Chickasaw, other tribes? Excellent. Well, see, in order to get your card, you have to get your birth and death certificates lined up to someone that's on a roll, such as these. Okay, that's the back page. Joe Hutton is the father of Creasy Graham, and the mother is Amelia Hutton. That's how you look at it side by side, from line 1, 2, 3, things that nature. And this is Joe Hutton. His roll number is on the left side. His roll number is 835. He was 72 years old at the time. His tribal enrollment town was, you see that? That's an actual Indian town. It's called Ketchapataki. Let's all say that word. Let's go. Ketchapataki. It's an actual Indian town from Alabama. And all that other information is, you can do a lot more genealogy on that. There's a vast amount of information on that card. Back in 1890, he was known as Joe Grayson. It says number 1 was on the Dunn Road, D-U-N-N. That was an earlier road, right after the Civil War. When did the Civil War end? Don't be. It's Bacone, let's go. When was it? 1865? Okay, we got him sure. He says it's 1865. And so right now we're dealing with these cards. We're all the way back to 1860. But Dunn Road was in 1867. 1867. That may be on the test. I don't know what's on the test. But it's whatever they got up there. Okay, so that's where we're at now. It's 1867. But this card right here was back in August, in the corner right there is August 1898. That's when they applied for citizenship. That's when they applied to get their land through the Dawes Commission. They were already citizens. You had to be proven a citizen. Just like right now, if someone wants to go get a job, what is one of the things that you have to have? Some type of proof that you are what? U.S. citizen. That's how it was back then. you had to have they had to be on a previous roll that stated that, okay, this person was a Creek citizen. This person was a Cherokee citizen. You had to have something. Folks, there was no computer back then. There was no hardly anything. So someone could just walk in there and say, yeah, I've been here to the Creek Nation all my life or something. If they didn't find your name on that previous roll, and sometimes there's a lot of other things that's in there. I could spend a week of Saturdays explaining it to you, but this is what the card looks like. It's a stock card that is housed in Washington, D.C. now. That's what they actually look like. Okay. That's the back page. It says, name of father, Jim Grayson. When did he die? During the Civil War. He died during the Civil War, which ended when? 1865. Father's owner, then it says name of mother was Venus, her tribal enrollment, things of that nature. This is one of the citizenship applications. It says testimony of Joe Grayson Sr. He's about 74 years old. He is a former and a Creek citizen. Belonged to Hennepin Town. Eufaula District. Here's the father of Joe Grayson Jr. He is sometimes called Joe Hutton. His owner was Nancy Hutton. Grayson's father was a half-breed, half Indian and half colored. His mother was a black woman. Her name was Venus. His father's name was Jim Grayson, Indian name Chinichaki from Coweta Town. Lived at Sodom. That actually is about 30 pages long. No, this one is like 5 pages. There's more testimony that has about 30 pages. But in that paragraph, it told you a lot about Joe Hutton. His father was half-breed. He was half Indian, half colored. Now, that's a blood quantum right there. But it didn't transfer to his other card, that card you've seen previously. If Joe Hutton's father was one half, what would make Joe Hutton? A quarter. Who said one half? Word of math. It would be 1/4. From there, his kids would be 1/8, and it keeps going down. 1/16, 1/32, 1/64. So, and then he told us about his Jim Grayson's Indian name, Chinichaki. Stayed in Coweta Town, lived at Sodom. I'm glad they changed that name. How many heard of Sodom? Or Sodom and Gomorrah? Well, there was a place that rough in Oklahoma they called Sodom. But they changed the name in 1910. They changed it. I mean, it's quite a bit of stuff on Sodom, too. But, okay. This is what I want to spend a little time with. Now, see what's going on. Scan the room. Okay. How many in here heard of 40 acres and a mule? 40 acres and a mule. 40 acres and a mule. Okay. I call this 160 acres and an opportunity. They actually got 160 acres. Actually got the land. Those squares up there, that is Joe Grayson and Creasy Graham. Their land was next to each other. 160 acres. It was in McIntosh County. When you on Highway 9 going to Eufaula, anybody stay near Eufaula? Well, if you're on Highway 9 going to Eufaula, if you look north, you will see that's where their land was at. 320 acres. It was right next to each other. But the Dawes Commission was about issuing out land. They had to authenticate you as being a citizen of that said tribe. Once they did that, then you got your land. That's all it was about. People think it was about blood quantums. That came into play later on, actually. But everybody in the Creek Nation got 160 acres. They don't care if you were full blood, a freedman, 1/8, 1/16, whatever. You got 160 acres in the Creek Nation. Okay. That's my father's land at the top, Theodore Graham. He got 160 acres. It's over there. If you ever travel from Tulsa to Oklahoma City, That Sapulpa stretch right there, that's 160 acres, is right there. And the other two down below is his brother, Will Graham and Homer Graham. That's the deed. The Creek Nation owned the land first. And then Creek Nation allotted it to, through the Dawes Commission, my father did. That's the picture. That's Joe Hutton with that rifle. Y'all see that rifle? Guess what? I helped that rifle when I was a little kid.
Oh, wow.
That rifle was given to my dad since my dad's mother stayed next to Joe Hutton, which that's Creasy Graham on the right, standing up. Creasy Graham. And they spoke Creek. Joe Hutton spoke several Indian languages. But yeah, that gun right there, it was, that's when, the same day I seen that gun was the day I seen that picture. That's when my dad told me who all the people were. I knew his mother, but I forgot the names of the other ones until my cousin Elmer had told me later on. Okay. That's a headstone of Joe Hutton. It's called Huttonville. It's right outside of Eufaula. It's Huttonville because he had some grandkids. It was 8 of them, actually it was 10 of them all together, but 8 of them's land was all together. It was it made up 2 square miles. And so they call that little area over there Huttonville. And they actually have a church still out there and a cemetery. And that's out there at Huttonville Cemetery. That picture's my father. My father's the one sitting down right in the middle. And the one that's in his lap is my aunt. That's him in the middle. Theodore Graham. They called him Blue, or his Indian name was Halada. Halada, which meant blue. Okay. That's the one that later, the one was sitting in my dad's lap. That's her right there. Her name Aunt Weena. I call her Aunt Weena. Well, she's my Aunt Weena. That's when I had her in the sun. I mean, it's absolutely good. But this next photo, wait a minute. Don't turn it. This next photo y'all finna see, don't ever, nobody ever forget this photo. But this is dear to me. Everybody looking? Looking back there? Okay. There you go. That photo is something else. Which one is me? Left side? I mean, what's that? Right side?
On the left
Left
side.
side. Who said left?
Me.
Left?
Yeah.
Any other? Come on. Left side? Why the left side? Why?
You got your head.
Who said that? I get that at every presentation. I get it at every, I'm for real, I get it at every, that's me on the left side. I'm the nice twin. I'm the nice twin. He's the mean twin. I'm the mean. But it's on the left. Yeah, the next one. This right here is from by blood to by blood. This is Cutting Fred. Fred Johnson is actually, I call him Cutting Fred all my life. That's what I call him. I really didn't even know his last name until later on in life. Me and him actually were one of the litigants trying to get our citizenship through the Creek Nation. And so that's why I titled this By Blood, from by blood to by blood. He one time told me, we would sit down, and he said, hey, my grandfather's blood, just his Indian blood just went gone, it went by. And I said, wow, okay. But later on, I said, I'm going to put that down there. And that's why I titled it. And this picture was actually in the Tulsa World newspaper back in 2004. Today, 10 years ago today. It was for Black History Month. So, that's that picture. That's a pedigree chart by Cutting Fred. This is his grandfather, Cooper Davis. That's his roll number. Again, if you see at the top, Creek Nation Freedman roll. And on the surface, it's got him down as a freedman. He's a freedman. So This is the back page. It has his father as Joe Davis, dun roll number, then a mother as Venus Davis, but it has the father's on it. Then it has another name for him, for his parents, Joseph Davidson and Lavina Davidson. But he was enrolled as Cooper Davis. If there's any genealogists out there, and laying right here, there was a lot of things the Dawes Commission did. The tactics, the procedures, and one of the things was they changed names a lot. Such as, I'm not going to get into that just yet. Let's stay with this card. Let's go to another, because I believe that's on the test. That's one of the tests. Again, if you look at this is called an Oak Creek Series card. See right here, it says re-enrolled as a Freedman. You see that? Right in there. He was already enrolled as a by blood Indian. His blood quantum is up there, what is yellow? 3/4, yes. He was down as 3/4. So his land would have been restricted. See, if you were 3/4 or more, you would have, but so that's it right there. Okay. We got about 2 minutes. I'm gonna just, that's what it looked like. Okay. It's called a Creek Old Series card. Go on. Let's go. I want to get to Silas Jefferson. Okay. That's his land right there. This is Silas Jefferson. This is one on. This is down the Creek of Nation Freedman Road. This is the front page of it. And Silas Jefferson is the name of this lady, Angeline Lewis. This is her father, Silas Jefferson. And this tribal town was Tuskegee. How many people heard of the Tuskegee area?
I've been there.
Tuskegee, Alabama. There was actually Tuskegee Indians there before all of this. There were Tuskegee Indians. All you have to do is do research. Folks, I deal with documentation. First, I listen to people talking to. I listen to what they've got to say. I want documentation, and that's what I have simply discovered, the documentation. Okay, go to the next one. Okay. This is his citizenship card. See, on here it says Creek Nation, Creek Road. It doesn't say Freedman. He's on the by blood road. His name is Silas Jefferson. He's one half the Greek blood. His tribal town was Tuskegee. They were from Tuskegee, Alabama. And so that's some of the connections and on how they separated the families and things of that nature.